What up? Y'all already know what time it is. We about to get into this car and auto loan blueprint. This ebook is now available on my website, so make sure y'all tap in. Everything you need to know about how to get approved for a car. This is an exclusive loan vendor list, meaning these are some of the lenders that will help assist in funding your car, okay? So I have an exclusive vendor list inside, how to get approved, some of the documentation that you might need as well in order for you to get approved for a car, okay? Also, we have exclusive car sites where they actually have cars that they can deliver directly to your home or to your business, okay? So that's what the car and auto loan blueprint is, and we're about to get into that right now. All right, you want to make sure you are fully knowledgeable of your driving record. Do you have any repos? Do you owe any car auto loans? Do you have any negative auto loan balances on your credit report? Okay, these are some of the things that you want to be aware before you decide to start making the steps in order to purchase or lease your car. Okay, make sure you have proof of income, bank statements, pay stubs, a hire letter, some type of paperwork to show that you have an allotted amount of money for you to be able to drive off the lot with this car, okay? Also, make sure you have proof of residency. Yes, perfect. I love that. Yes, just like that. Perfect. All right, cool. Make sure you have proof of residency, so you can use a bill, like your light bill, you can use your cable bill, you can use your phone because it's, you have an address to your name, to your information, and you can also use your lease, all right? Also, be prepared to get insurance. You're not gonna drive off the lot with the car without having insurance, okay? So I also have a list of different insurance companies that you can utilize while you're at the car lot so you can drive off a lot easier, or just so you can go ahead and start comparing those policies and seeing which one is good for you, all right? So again, this is the car and auto loan blueprint. Thank you for purchasing it. You are dope as fuck, and we about to get this money, all right? Now, first thing you want to do is shop for your car, all right? You want to call around and actually speak to the finance manager, more than likely because that's the person who's going to close or help you fund your car. They will be reaching out to their exclusive vendors and their banks to see who can, make it happen to get you your car, all right? Something happened. Another thing you want to do if you're physically going to the car lot is you want to at least ask your options, okay? Whether you want to get it in your personal credit, whether you want to get it in your business name. It's a lot of different ways that you can do what you need to do in order for you to obtain a car, okay? Now, when you start moving around internationally, you'll see that certain countries have certain requirements or don't require certain things as other countries, okay? So this is the auto loan blueprint, all right? And these are some of the sites that I would suggest you to use, okay? Especially if you're trying to look online. Some of these will actually deliver it to your house, but this is my exclusive car site list, okay? Carvana. Carvana is one of the most efficient websites that ship cars directly to your door, okay? Like you can literally go online, apply for a car, look in your area, put in your information, and within the same day or the next day, you can get approved for your car, and they will literally deliver the car to your door. So I will highly suggest you to check out Carvana. That is one of my dope resources. Another one is Drive Time. Okay, Drive Time is another great resource, especially for people who might have challenges on their personal credit, or their credit might not be up to par, right? So Drive Time is a little more lenient when it comes to stuff like that. CarMax, that is another one of my resources. You can literally go on carmax.com. You can order your car. Some of them you might have one near you because they have a lot of different locations nationwide. So definitely check out carmax.com as well. One more exclusive site for you, Car Gurus. Car Gurus is kind of another go-to to easily find a car in your area, and it's a quick, easy process to fill out the application, get approved. I would reach out to the car lot prior to actually applying, especially if you see the information is available for you, just to make sure so that you're not having too many inquiries on your credit report while you're trying to find your car. Okay? Now, auto loans, there are different types of lenders that you can apply for yourself. Sometimes it is best to skip the car lot. If you can go directly to the site, I'm giving you a direct link to get what you need to get a car, literally online. You might have to just make a couple phone calls. You might have to drive up there to visit to make sure. But no, this is a direct link for you to get a car, okay? So these are a couple of my auto loan lender lists. Capital One Auto Loan, they literally have an easy process, okay? Capital One will help you get approved. They will actually have a pre-approval process where you can literally go ahead and apply, get approved. They will mail you the check and you can take it to a lot. That is another way that you can do it. I just dropped game. Boy, you know what I'm saying? Well, no. Capital One Auto Loan is a great resource, okay? Road Loans is another one. Now, when I give you these resources, I don't want you to think your credit has to be A1 perfect, because like I said, some of these work with people who have challenges on their credit, okay? So Road Loans is a great resource for people who might have secondary issues or something to stop them from being able to get approved for a car. Road Loans is a little more lenient, okay? Auto Pay is another one, and Auto Credit Express. These are all auto loan lenders that you can directly reach out to or apply online, get approved for the loan, and use those funds to go pick out your car. Okay, so those are some of my exclusive auto loans. All right, again, this is the Car and Auto Loan Blueprint. You already know what time it is. Let's go. Now, you will not leave the car lot without insurance. All right, so these are some of your options for insurance. You're definitely gonna probably have to call or apply while you're in the lot if you choose to go through the lot. A lot of these websites that I gave you, they're direct links to insurance after you apply and or get approved or get your pre-approval. They will refer you to some. But some options that you can use is Progressive. Progressive is an auto. Some of these places that I'm gonna refer you to are not just auto insurance. Some of them are for rental insurance. Some of them are for life insurance. Some of them also has different policies that you can use to secure and insure your house, your car, your life insurance, okay? So Progressive is one, all right? State Farm is another one. Geico is another insurance company, and of course, Allstate, all right? With all of these insurance companies, you're in good hands. This is the Car and Auto Loan Blueprint. I hope it gave you all the information that you needed. Now use these resources and go get your car. Y'all already know what time it is, okay? This is the Car and Auto Loan Blueprint, and I'm gonna show you how to get approved for a car or an auto loan, okay? I'm gonna give you some of my exclusive car sites and some of my exclusive auto line lenders, all right? So stay tuned, we're about to get into it, okay? All right, so one of the first things you want to make sure you have is proof of income, okay? Make sure you have proof of income. That could be bank statements, that could be pay stubs, that could be a hire letter from your employer. You will need these documentations in order for you to even process the application to get the car, okay? So make sure you have some proof of income. Proof of residency as well. You want to have a light bill, you want to have a lease, you want to have insurance, you want to have some type of address linked to who you are, and you want to have some type of documentation showing where you reside, okay? All right, so go ahead to the next one. Go ahead. See? You want to be aware of your driving record, okay? Have proof of income. Be aware of your driving record. You need to know whether or not you got repos. I'm sure you know if you got some repos, okay? So make sure you have these things and be prepared to get car insurance for your car, okay? Shop around for a pre-approval. I'm going to give you some websites where you can directly apply for the auto loans, get them, use those funds to go get your car, all right? So here are some exclusive sites that you can go to get your car, to get approved for auto loans, and to proceed with building your empire. All right, let's go. Otro. Sí. Sí. Shop for your car. Call around and ask to speak to the finance manager. More than likely, these are the people who are going to help you get loan for your car. They're going to help you find lenders for your car. All right, make sure you have proof of income. Make sure you have residency readily available for verification. Make sure you ask questions about your options, okay? You can get it in your personal credit, you can get it in your business credit, and you could also utilize the cosigner option, all right? So make sure you explore your options, all right? A couple sites. These are a couple sites that I use to help my clients get cars and to get approved for cars. Carvana is an exclusive site that directly ships the car to your door. Literally, you can go on this website and apply, pick out your car, and they'll ship it to your door. All right, Drive Time is a little more lenient when it comes to credit. I know a lot of y'all thinking that you had to have A1 credit, perfect credit to get approved for some of these things and to be able to put these cars on Turo. I know you think it's some challenges, but I'm gonna give you some easy ways and some options, all right? Drive Time is another one. CarMax. CarMax is another one of those lenient, car places that you can easily get approved for a car, pay your little down payment, go put that shit on Turo and let it pay for itself, all right? Car Gurus is another exclusive website that you can use for search. Normally they're covering the entire United States, so definitely check out Car Gurus. That is another option to get a car, okay? These are some auto loan lenders. These are exclusive auto loan websites and resources that you can use to help you get the funds to get your car. You can literally get these loans and go pick out your car, and there you go. Get the loan, get approved for the loan first, and then take the funds to the car lot or wherever you're trying to do. Just know that you can explore options. You have options. Capital One Auto Loan is very easy, okay? Road Loans is another one that is very easy and lenient when it comes to your credit. AutoPay is another website, and Auto Credit Express is the final site, okay? Thank you for purchasing the car and auto loan blueprint. We're live in the full effect. Let's get into the insurance options, okay? Progressive is one, State Farm is another one, Geico is another insurance company, and Allstate is the final resource I'm gonna give you. Now, some of these aren't just for cars, okay? Some of these you can use these places for life insurance, for renter's insurance. All right, so explore your options when it comes to these insurance policy companies that I'm giving you right now. But don't forget, you will not leave that car lot without insurance. So make sure you have insurance, all right? So These are some of my exclusive car sites. These are some of my exclusive auto loan lenders. I've shown you how to get approved for auto loans, how to get approved for car sites. For cars, gave you some sites, gave you some resources. You already know what time it is. Let's go. Benji, the ruler, street sweepers, the mafia, I'm IBNT CEO. We are live and in full effect. I got my homie Jonathan Anderson here, real estate agent here in Mexico, man. We're gonna get down to business. Y'all already know what time it is. Exclusive interview. If you're watching this, you're definitely a part of my Patreon, Telegram, you're a part of my Discord, or you're a member, all right? So this is some exclusive footage. First, I wanna say thank you so much to all of my viewers, my friends, my followers, my supporters for helping me get to this point. Thank you so much for standing behind me. Y'all know I got y'all back. It's the same vibes, you know what I'm saying? Party Monster video, y'all see it over here on the screen. You know what I'm saying? We're at 37K, so make sure y'all keep running that up. I'm super excited about what's next to come. I just started, you know, working on a premiere album. I'll give y'all a little bit of that. But let's get to business.
Let's do it.
Let them know who you are and where you're from, bro.
First off, thank you, Benji, for having me on today. Me personally, as he said, my name's Jonathan Anderson. I'm from Washington, D.C. Grew up in a wonderful community there and really enjoyed my life in Washington, D.C. Had opportunities to travel, one of those places being Puerto Vallarta. And, you know, I fell in love with Puerto Vallarta and made that the destination where I wanted to live and, just grow all the opportunities that I could with the career field that I chose. So in Washington, D.C., I was doing real estate as well there. A lot of different things, you know, pertaining to the service industry. And then I just started traveling here to Vallarta, met a wonderful friend circle, and really just, you know, wanted to thrive here. So. Right. You know, opportunities came available to me to actually take that career path that I had chosen in the U.S. and transfer that here.
Yes,
you know, to Puerto Vallarta. So it really put me in a position where, you know, how can you turn down that opportunity?
Right, exactly.
So I took it upon myself to, you know, get my affairs in order and everything to put myself in a position to be here.
Yes. So, okay, when you say you were doing real estate in Washington, what were you selling, buying, wholesaling, renting, Airbnb? There's so many different layers of real estate. So when you say you were doing real estate, what you mean? Okay,
so when I mean real estate, I mean I was a realtor.
Right.
So your traditional realtor is going to be one that works with buyers and sellers. You know, I personally wasn't doing any flipping or developing or wholesaling.
So who were you working under? Keller Williams or?
So I originally was working under Long and Foster. That was how I started. So Long and Foster now is actually owned by Berkshire and Hathaway.
Okay.
So their home services program.
Berkshire is like nationwide. Like
yes,
they have
Warren
properties.
Buffett's company. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Oh, you just taught me something. See, yes, that's dope.
That's Warren Buffett's company. Yes. So you know he owns most real estate everywhere, and they're just buying it up. And it's a great company. It was a great company, Long and Foster.
So how did you make that transition from doing real estate in the States and it's like, wow, now I'm doing real estate in Mexico. So what is it that helped you? Well, I know when you visited, right, that was a part of the inspiration that helped you make that next step. But what was the solidified moment that secured you saying, damn, I'm really like doing the same thing I was doing in the States, but like in another country? Like, what was that? When was that moment? What was that like?
You know, I mean, honestly, there's a process.
Yes.
You know, so being from the States, we just, obviously when you grow up in your home country, you get a job, you do the natural things that you would do to continue and thrive in life.
Right.
Going to a foreign country, there's a process of being able to do those things. So you need to get the permission to work.
Yes.
You need also to find a sphere of influence. How can you find people that are going to be open to giving you an opportunity to,
and even working with you because you're living and you're living abroad and you're working in a foreign country outside of your own. So they're always going to be processes, and even some initiation.
Yeah.
But yes.
Yes. I mean, there's fees. Look, there
yeah,
are
you're gonna have
fees.
to pay.
Yes.
My show. You see the development in this show. This is not a fucking cheap. I don't want to pull receipts, but yeah, I
gotta pay.
I get exactly. You got to pay to stay. You know what I'm saying? But
So-
it's also important about investing in yourself and in the development of your brand and in your business. When you see that you have these opportunities and everything is aligning for you. That was my moment. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We're right here having this interview. I was doing this back in the States.
Yeah.
You know, and I did it at radio stations, but this is a TV major production company. So
Yeah.
it's like, you know, I had to go through some processes too.
Yeah.
So
I feel like there's a cool niche here as well because
Yes.
you got to think of it. All of us
Mexico, period.
are
Yes.
essentially out of our general natural element.
Yes.
We are in a foreign country. We're
Right.
learning the language. We're
Yes.
learning the customs.
And they're learning ours too.
They're
you
learning
know,
our
and that's
customs
what
as
makes
well,
it,
yeah.
That's what makes it great. And then we have we have a lot of similarities too.
Yeah.
Like especially on a spiritual level. Like I really do believe that we have a lot of influence in, you know, that, and then they have an influence. Their influence influences us.
Yes.
And it complements ours. You know,
it's
so
like
it's
with
all
the
about growth
personality.
too. It's all about growth.
Mexican people could be sassy.
Yeah, well,
Like-
we can be sassy too.
That's what I said. So the similarities in
yeah.
personality.
Yeah, but spiritually,
you know?
spiritually, and then so now we're getting into financially being able to, you know, coexist and develop in different ways that we might not be prone to, they might not be prone to. Like we're learning from them and they're learning from us. So let's get into some of those ways. Like, okay, now with financing.
Okay.
I'm gonna just skip to that because that is one of the areas that I think that, and not even just in Mexico, from a global perspective.
Yeah.
If there were easier ways that people could, you know, it could be outside of credit too, because people are actually registering houses as NFTs now, and in the metaverse now. Yeah, so there are different
like
ways. Yeah, there are
digital
different-
real estate
Yeah,
is a
real estate
thing.
is different. Like it's different dynamics and levels to
Yeah.
it now. You know, but some people don't really get into that deep side of things.
That's like crypto to me,
But-
so it's a little bit.
Yeah, it's a little off, but it's different. Some people actually are successful in that way.
For sure.
And know how to do that. Like
sure.
they're actually selling houses as NFTs. Of course, you get the house too, but you actually get a smart contract that, let's say the house burnt down, you still have some security for that house. You know what I'm saying? So it's always good to have options.
Gotta do more research into that
Yes,
one. when
definitely
they're
do
there,
some
but-
research. I'm still doing research, and that's what this is about. This is about developing brand development, brand awareness, product placement, being able to market, advertise, promote yourself, your business, whatever you have going on.
But other than digital real
Mm-hmm.
estate, if you have a particular question about financing,
Yeah, give us some options. What are
well-
some options that people can use to help them get approved for a house here?
first option, and go back to your global point, no matter
Yes.
where you live or where you're trying to purchase a property at in the world, if you already own property in your home country, that's the place where you start.
Right.
Because if you have equity in that property, you can access the equity in that property to use as capital to purchase a property in a foreign country.
So you can do that.
So it's called a
Wow.
home equity line of credit.
Okay.
And that's what a lot of people use in the U.S. to take money out of that and purchase a property here.
Correct.
You know?
Okay.
So, and that was the major way people were doing it if you didn't have the cash up front.
Yeah,
you
because
know?
they were saying, like, you know, your escrow account.
Well, an escrow account is what essentially you're going to use to deposit the money to make sure that the transaction goes through.
It's secured.
It's secure way.
Correct.
So when you put your money in escrow, rather than just giving it either directly to the
Cash
seller or
yes.
the notary,
Yes.
you would give that money to the escrow company, and they would hold that money.
Right.
You know, or there's
Until-
title companies and things like that that we use in the
So,
U.S.
what are some? Because I've saw a couple sites.
Yeah.
Like I saw Point Two Homes, right?
Yes.
So, and then do you have any other sites that people could probably use to search or find real estate or help them get real estate in Mexico?
Yes, obviously, what I personally use is called the Flex MLS.
Right.
Now, you don't have access to that if you're not an agent, unless you find an agent.
You have an
and that
agent that-
agent will
yes.
give you a code so you can have
Correct.
a portal so you can look through there.
Right.
That's the most relevant source for looking for houses for me personally, because all of those houses are run through Ampy.
They're on that system. The majority of the houses, it's on Flex MLS.
Yes,
or
they're
it's on
Flex.
MLS. or
If you see, I've seen people, clients.
and you have an MLS number too, right?
Yes.
Right.
So clients will send you, they'll be like, hey, I saw this on the internet, and it could be from one of those third-party sites, like a Point Two Homes.
Right.
Where when I put
And there's so many of those.
so many of them. Easy Broker is another one. They actually use that in
There are
Guadalajara
a lot of
because
them.
these are multiple listing systems that are chosen by your local association. So Ampy
So Easy Brokers.
of Vallarta and Nayarit chose to use Flex MLS.
Right.
There's other MLSs out there.
Right.
In Guadalajara, they use another MLS. Mexico City, they may use another MLS.
Right.
You know, so these
Yeah,
are
so
particular
many
things to
different
your
ones.
region.
Yes.
You know, so Point Two Homes is a third-party site.
Right.
Where when you list something on the MLS, what happens is it ends up going to 10, 15, 20 different other
sites.
third-party
Yeah,
sites.
it's like a marketing site. It's kind of like
Yeah.
putting your business through kind of like a circuit through
Yeah.
the internet, so it'll pop up when people search for it on Google. Kind of like Zillow and some of those other resources that I gave y'all in the Real Estate Blueprint ebook. They're all third-party companies.
Exactly.
And you can apply on those, just like the ones that I gave you for the cars. Some of those are third-party companies, and they pull and find their clients through, outsourcing their ads and just different
Exactly.
ways through circuits and
Like a
funnels. So, all right. So, give us the process of how it is to actually purchase a house. Like, first, what are the first things you want to do?
First thing you want to do is, if we're talking about Mexico in general, find where you want to be at in Mexico. Then if you haven't had a chance to visit the area, or if you're planning on visit the area, find an agent
Right.
that you can work with. You might start off with finding a respectable agency.
Yes, right.
And calling that agency, and then they might, give you as a lead to one particular agent within
Yes.
that agency. But if you know that agency is known for doing great things, then you should be doing well with
Right.
any
That's
agent.
why I mentioned Keller Williams, because they're a reputable global, realtor company, and I've met and interviewed quite a few of them on my show. Major shout out to Sophia Mannerheim. She's from Keller Williams, and she's doing real estate out here and thriving. Has been doing it for a while. So I definitely wanted to bring you on the show because I got one of my bros. You know what I'm saying? We got this melanin popping in Mexico, baby. Melanin in Mexico.
Yes.
You feel me? Melanin in Mexico. So I'm glad you spoke about where, because that's one of the things that we want to get into, right? Of course, you said Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, beautiful destination. The property value fluctuates. We're not going to get into too many specifics with price points, but what we are finna do now is talk about different parts of Mexico, because we both have been doing our research, on some behind the scenes shit. So Guanajuato,
Okay.
great, right?
Oaxaca.
Oaxaca.
Is great.
Oaxaca.
There's some of those southern states. I mean, you got Oaxaca, you have Veracruz.
Veracruz and Oaxaca were Afro-Mexicans are
Yes, there are
there,
actually.
and a lot of our people, quote unquote, the slave trade.
Guerrero as well.
It made it. Guerrero.
That's what Acapulco de Juarez. and-
Chihuahua, Mazatlan, maybe.
That's further north, though.
But we're just talking about different
Sinaloa.
parts, period. You have Cancun, Tulum,
Tulum, and
which
Quintana
I think is
Roo.
probably more higher. I think it's, is it higher on that side? Like,
It all
as far
depends
as
on what you're talking about. I would
Right.
say, in particular, real estate is a little more costly in
Los Cabos?
Tulum.
I think it's expensive
In
there,
Tulum per square meter.
Right.
So I always break it down to like that smallest amount, and it's per
Yeah,
square
because I
meter.
noticed that's how they That's how they do their
Measurements.
footage. Yeah, they
Yeah.
don't do inches or square feet. They do
Square meters.
Square meters,
So,
so,
per
yeah.
square meter, it's more expensive in Tulum and Playa del Carmen.
Yes.
That's in that Quintana Roo, and that's generally because that it's a higher tourist area.
right. It's a higher touristy area,
Yeah.
and a lot of people fluctuate there and
Yeah.
buy and develop.
Vallarta's a good
So-
balance of tourist and retire.
Both.
It's almost kind of like a balance, but
It's a mix of
with
both.
Miami and the South Florida. If you go further South Florida to
So
your
Mexico
Lauderdale
City,
and stuff.
Mexico City, I think is another great spot. Let's see, what else do we have? There's so many. I think we pretty much covered most of them, right?
I mean, there's 32 states in
It's a lot
Mexico,
of
different
them.
regions.
We're still doing research, so we probably
People
gonna
like
come back
Merida.
with some more. Merida, Yucatan,
People like-
yes.
yes, the Yucatan,
Definitely.
yeah.
And
Chetumal,
very
Bacalar.
Tehuah Mixley.
wonderful areas.
It's a lot of different spots. We're gonna do some more research.
Yes.
too.
No,
We're gonna
but
do some more research.
to get directly into the process, like we were saying, the question that I always ask, no matter whether you're buying
So we talked about
or whether you're
where.
selling,
We talked about
it's
where.
always where. That's the first
Now
question.
the next one is what? How much?
No, the question isn't
What's
how
next?
much. It's because generally speaking, if you're a buyer, you would ask them. Not next. I would ask honestly, are you already working with an agent?
Right.
So if they're not working with an agent, that means that now we're able to work. So they say, hey, we
Yes.
want to live in Vallarta. I'm an agent in Vallarta. Are you working with one? Then they come and they start working with me.
Right.
The next thing would be those general questions. What is your budget?
Right.
Do you have a preferred area of the city if
Right.
you know about the city?
Right.
Do you have preferred amenities
Because
that
a
you
lot
would
of
like in
times
your
they
property?
don't, especially when it comes to like the touristy people or whatever. They don't know they know
Zona Romantica.
they know the place has made an impact on them and they want to get a property there. They want to come back, but they haven't like really moved around in the different areas and the different parts for them to find their area. And then sometimes they have options. They might come here frequently. A lot of people are repeat visitors. They've been coming and they've been coming back and forth for years and years and years, and they haven't made their mind to purchase, right? And then just so happens,
Yeah.
they find you or they find other people and they close. So how do you convince them into finding what area? Do you identify with them, like asking them questions to see what type
Yeah.
of person they are,
Yes, and
whether
what they're
they would
looking
want to
for.
be in the party areas or if they want to be kind of in a more peaceful, suburban area?
Generally, the main question here is, are you here to invest
Right.
or are you here to live?
Right.
So some people want to just invest in something that's going to make them money.
Right.
So then you would gear them towards the particular areas that have higher occupancy rates and higher nightly rental rates.
Right.
And that depends also on their budget. So those two things play in tandem together.
Right.
So depending on your budget, you might not be able to be in this particular area, but you can be in this area, which still has a decent occupancy rate and things like that. So the balance of how much money you're going to make, the return on your investment is still going to be there.
I think that's something. You would Houston, New York, Miami, Atlanta, LA, Los Angeles,
But then
San Francisco.
you got to break that down even
Right.
more. Like in Atlanta, where in Atlanta?
Where in Atlanta, yeah.
Because there's certain parts
Right.
of Atlanta where people won't rent at.
Right.
And there's certain parts of
And
Atlanta
there's
where
some places that they won't rent at or they wouldn't even. And then you have some people that just don't know.
Yeah.
Because they haven't been in those areas. They just know they want to go to Atlanta.
Yeah.
And normally that's how it starts.
Yeah.
When you're visiting and when you're traveling, you just go to a place.
So you try to go to the central
and then
area.
Right. And then from there you start branching off and
When you feel comfortable.
And then you start meeting people and they start referring you to other areas and it's
Yes.
like you find your way.
That's what happens.
So
you start off in Zona Romantica,
yeah.
and then people start saying, "Oh, Versailles. Oh, Marina. Oh, here. All those different things. Oh, Bucerias if you want to go to Nayarit.
Yes,
oh,
because it's a lot more
Sayulita."
peaceful out there. It's a lot more. I say the beaches are cleaner and not
different.
as crowded. Not as crowded as like the central area. So, what is the process if someone wants to like sell their property? Let's say they've already did the process through buying and they closed on it. What is the process like of trying to sell it? Like if they came to you and they wanted to sell it, what would the first thing you do? List it on Flex MLS or how would you?
Okay, so let me run it down because I don't want to confuse people. So just to clear up the process of buying all the way through is we started off with where, and then now you talk about your budget and things like that. Now the actual process of buying outside of searching for your home. So next you have to find the home that you want to buy, where you want to buy it at. Then now you need to go through the process of putting in an offer for the property. And then once you put in an offer for the property, you go through the process of getting the offer accepted, getting your bank trust, which is called a fideicomiso here,
Right.
which you're going to need because generally speaking, when you're in areas like Cancun and Vallarta, those are in the restricted zone, which is 50 kilometers from the beach
Yes, and
100 kilometers from the
I was
border.
going to speak on that. Like, that's just something else when he was saying about the process and learning and proper procedures and protocol that you have to make sure that you are keeping in mind when you're going through this transition or when you're starting to do business in other countries. So
It's a trust, so which
Right.
means that you will be the trustee.
Right.
So you have full ownership rights, but the bank holds the legal title as your trustee.
right, and then it's a question like even when it comes to that, like, do you still own
You're the
it?
beneficiary.
Right.
Yes.
Like, do you still own it?
You
but
do.
You're the beneficiary of
You're the
trust.
beneficiary, which means you
Right.
have all full rights of ownership. The bank only holds legal title, which means they actually have no rights of ownership to the property unless you were to default on the contract.
Now, this process, it sounds like a lot, right? And this is why I know most realtors, give them an estimated 30 to 45 days. Does it take longer than that, or is that like a
So
an estimate?
if you are non-Mexican, if you're a Mexican and you're purchasing a house from another person that's Mexican, it generally takes about 30 days.
Right.
If you are non-Mexican, meaning foreigner, it would take about 45 to 60 days
Right.
minimum to do that. And that's with the fideicomiso. If there's other extenuating things, then it could take up to 90 days, but that's generally like, the maximum just for a traditional, but 45 to 60 days is the general amount of time it takes
Right.
to get that whole process done of buying.
And then do you get like commission for selling the house, or like how does
obviously.
that work? Right.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing it for.
So
What y'all playing with? Yeah.
both sides split the
Right.
commission. So you have the person that's listing the property and the person that has the buyer.
They actually has the buyer.
They both split
Yes.
the commission.
And we're not even talk about percentages because everybody moves a little different. You know what I'm saying?
Everywhere moves differently. Cabos
yeah.
does different things. Guadalajara does different
Yes.
things.
Yes.
So
Yeah, we didn't say Guadalajara. Guadalajara is a nice spot too.
it is.
It is.
It's a very
beautiful
big
there,
and busy
the
city.
industry is bigger. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So it's kind of good to have that.
Yeah.
That balance, not too much of either. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
So closing costs. Like
Closing costs.
Can we cover that? What does that look like?
6 to 8% of the purchase of the property value.
Right.
6 to
Not
8% of
10,
the
6 to 8.
6 to 8.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
6 to
So
8%.
just having the opportunity and going through the process, how does it feel to now say that you are a Mexico real estate agent?
It feels great. I mean,
Groundbreaking.
obviously, well, not obviously. It honestly, that's what I meant to say. It wasn't like a childhood dream or something
Right,
like
right.
it was one of those things where, life happens
Yes.
in a good way.
Yes. Yes.
So,
Yes. And the opportunities present itself.
Exactly.
And you execute when given that opportunity.
yes.
You know what I'm saying? I think that is something that we really need to pour more into ourselves and our people. The fact that these opportunities are priceless, and, hold on to your principles, your morals, and your values.
Yes.
Know your worth in the process of all of it.
Have some
right?
gumption and
See
some
what I'm
moxie.
saying?
Be able to
honor your position.
be able to look that opportunity in the face, though, and
Yeah.
not be afraid of it.
Right.
Because
Look,
let me tell you
yes,
something.
yes, that's
When
a
I
good one.
started talking to my family about it and things like that, there are mixed reviews of what people have for their understanding of what life would be like here in Mexico.
Right.
And they don't know, like, my daily
Everybody
life is
has their own
amazing. Like, walking up and down
Like,
the street is
everybody
beautiful.
has their own story.
You know, so.
You know, and I think that when it comes, we're going to kind of go on the lifestyle area real quick. When it comes to a lot of the influencers and YouTubers, you know, a lot of this shit be for clickbait. Like, they're making it seem dramatic or worse than what it is. And then you have some people who haven't even been, that go off of other people's perceptions and their experiences. That doesn't directly mean that your experience is going to be the same way. I mean, what type of energies are you holding or, you know, projecting or running away from? You know what I'm saying? That would make you, you know, even feel inferior to certain situations just because you heard somebody else went through it, or whatever type of propaganda could be straying you away from it. So yeah, I believe you and I agree with you to be able to face it, you know, and literally execute. It is very groundbreaking. So I am proud of you, bro. You know what I'm saying? For real. So how long do you plan to, like, what I'm gonna ask you this. What is your next step into having the title as a real estate agent in Mexico? Like, you've gotten certified, you know, you sold. What's the next? Development, or what's next?
Yes. So also back on the selling side, so going into my future, I love to be a listing agent. You know, I love to talk with the local homeowners, do those things, and then also get into developing as well with partnership with the local homeowners. So as you all know, there is a lot of talk around different areas where I grew up in a wonderful black community in Washington, D.C., but you hear the word gentrification being thrown around.
Yes.
You also hear that being thrown around in Mexico a lot as well. You know, but what I try to work towards is a program called equitable inclusion, which means is the homeowners are obviously, you're going to be in tandem with the developers rather than them trying to come in and lowball you. Let's work together and both make money together. We can create a partnership through a joint venture, and then I'll be able to help renovate and develop your property, and you can make some money off of it, and then I can make some money, not just about the actual sales price of your property.
That's where, like, I'm glad you touched bases on that, because it is so, like, it's an amazing place. Mexico is a beautiful place, but with some development, but different ways of development, not just that way. Like, you could bring in a whole nother niche or a whole nother set or a whole nother generation of tourists if you were, you know.
Yes.
If you had a different, you know.
The way it works is, you know, the old school way is you go in to develop, you try to get a house for as low as possible. And then so you can make your profit on top and then have money to develop and build.
But see, just with that though, like, now let's talk about land, right?
Land,
because, you know, now coming from this perspective, like, this is the grand scheme of things now, because you're talking about, like, literally developing. But even though there are properties and homes and businesses and, you know, villas that could have upgrades or redevelopments, when it comes to, like, purchasing land.
It's the same as buying a house.
So it's the same as buying a house.
Yes.
And then do you outsource your own developers, or, like, do you do that part of it?
I don't build houses.
No, what I'm saying, outsource as in you have a channel or a connection of developers that if somebody came to you with $2 million and say, hey, I want to build this project on 4 acres, blah, blah, blah.
I work directly with the builder, architect, and engineer. So we have all of those pieces to it. Just to give a little shout out to a company that one of my friends, really close buddy of mine, Rodrigo Molina, and it's called Yuxun. It's out of Mexico City. They've been in business for 45 years. His grandfather started the company. They've been here doing business in Vallarta for about the last 9 years. He does an amazing job. And that's why I chose to work with him.
I have a friend here, actually one of the first people I met here in Mexico, and they literally just developed their, you know, 2-apartment.
Yes, Oni and John.
With a pool, so major shout out to them. We have some melanin in Mexico that is building and developing homes and businesses. So, you know, it's happening, and, you know, with patience and, you know, trusting the process and execution and communication. Okay, this right here is community. I went to college for mass communications. Yeah, I dropped out. I dropped out. But this is communicate. See what I'm doing now? I went to college for this, and I'm still doing this in my career
This is
in
on
a
the
whole
job.
other country.
Experience.
Right, still doing the same, still doing it, but in another country. So communications is a very powerful tool to be able to communicate not only with your friends or with your family or with your business partners, but to be able to communicate with different companies and businesses in different countries. I think that is amazing to be able to find a common language
Yes.
and a common ground to be able to have the conversations, whether you speak Spanish or not. I don't speak Spanish fluently, but I'm taking classes 3 days a week, and now that I'm learning,
Yes.
está bien, hermano. Está bien. Está bien.
There you go.
Sí,
There you go.
sí.
For
Muchas
sure.
gracias. Mucho trabajo. Mucho dinero. Okay.
I mean, it's a full life experience. I mean,
Sí.
you know, you are doing something that's familiar to you,
Mm-hmm.
as far as your work here in the studio,
Mm-hmm.
my work with real estate, but we're in a foreign element,
Mm-hmm.
you know, being in another country. So I truly think that there are a lot of major things that I'm learning from here that when I do get to a place where I am going to be, because that's where I'm going to be balancing my life between Mexico and DC. I want to be able to take a lot of information that I've learned from here back
Yes.
and really grow and
Yes,
help, you
and
know, in the
expand
community.
there,
Especially
expand back.
the language, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Being able to go back and then speak more, you know, intimately with the local
Yes,
Latino
yes.
community there in Washington, D.C.
And I think that's why
you know?
it's good to be able to like communicate with the locals.
Yes.
And, you know, talk to them, even when you're out at restaurants, when you're in the Uber, talk to them, you know, have conversations so you can come to a common ground. And even though they say, oh, poquito inglés, right? And I say
Sí.
poquito español, sí. Un momento, paciencia.
Sí. Estoy
You know,
aprendiendo.
give it a minute, you know. But it's great to be able to come to a common ground and communicate and handle business and conduct business and, you know, to still hold on to your principles and your morals and values.
sure.
So this is very groundbreaking. So now it's time to build
Yes.
on that ground that we've broken. And major salute to you, bro. Now, are there some other countries that you're looking to get real estate in, or is just right now you want to focus on Mexico?
Well, I got to focus on Mexico. I mean,
Right.
you know, there's so much that I have to do here.
Still have to do, yes.
You know, and honestly, it's because there's some things that I have on the table right now, as far as what we were speaking to, as far as development and
Developing,
things
yes.
that I'll be releasing soon.
Right.
So, and I also am planning on, well, not planning, this is what I'm going to be releasing is essentially going to be a condo consortium. So if you know what a consortium is, it's when a group of people are pooling their resources together
Yes.
to make a dream come true.
Yes.
You know, and I think that where that comes...
Collective economics.
Collective, and that's a big thing
Yes.
that is being
Group economics.
missing. We've been talking about this for
Group
years.
economics.
We've been talking about this for years, but there needs to be places that are... You need to cultivate it for people
Yes.
sometimes.
Yes.
You can put it out there in the you know, ethos where, oh yeah, this is what you should do. Sometimes you actually need to create a place
People
where
are
those
very
things
more,
can be cultivated.
especially when you're talking about developing in another country. If you can have a strong, solid conglomerate, like I really do believe that people would respect the movement and make their moves to help you make moves. You
When
know
they
what I'm
see it
saying?
happening.
So group economic.
Yeah.
If you build it, they will come for real. 'Cause
Yes.
people they gonna see and they gonna start sending their people. You might not even know that somebody sent that person,
Yes.
you know, to you, but you were blessed. So yeah.
That's a major thing.
So group economics definitely is a
Yes.
is a big thing. I do believe that our people are getting there, and I see a lot of improvement in the whether you want to call it the African American community, the BIPOC community, Black Indigenous People of Color community, the diaspora, however you want to say it. I see some growth. I see some development in what we are building and what we are doing in the community, in the communities.
Yes.
There
love
are
it.
a lot of us moving and living abroad, not just in Mexico. I just did an interview with the vegan foodie. She's stationed in Dubai. You know what I'm
There you go,
saying?
yeah.
And being able to have those conversations with her, you know, about Dubai and about Dubai real estate and their process on how obtain a visa and, you know, some of their systems and the way that they operate, and then having someone else in Lagos, Nigeria.
That's what I was going to say. I
Then having
wouldn't
someone
mind-
else in Sierra Leone, and then I just met someone who's in Tunisia, Africa, you know, and they speak French. I was like, oh shit. And I went to college, I spoke French in college. So, you know, starting to speak French with him,
Yeah.
and my life literally flashed before my eyes real fast, because I was
Yeah.
like, oh shit. Like, I'm in Mexico, but okay, so like I didn't forget I speak French, but when you're actually speaking the language with somebody,
yeah.
you know what I'm
a
saying?
different
And you
feeling.
remember janvier, février, mars, avril, April, May, juin, juillet, août, octobre, novembre, décembre, and you start saying it's like, oh shit, I really do speak French, and I'm talking to some fucking body who's in Africa, speaking French to him on a live stream, right? But they also speak French in Morocco. That's another part of Africa. So it's a big thing to be able to say you are a global entrepreneur, or you are a global international entrepreneur, influencer, whatever it is that you do, real estate agent, car salesman, DJ, artist, makeup artist, producer. So this is why we're having this conversation. This is why we are on The Real Right Show, to promote, to advertise, to market, to develop, to bring awareness, okay, to skilled professionals on all sides of the spectrums. We don't want to just cater to one audience, because it is so many different people out here doing amazing things. And I want to give a major shout out to my homie Jonathan Anderson.
Yes.
Thank you for coming to The Real Right Show and dropping some sauce. Is there anything that we haven't covered that you would like to put out there?
Well, outside of real estate, I've actually been doing. I'm a loan officer, so if anybody were interested in any information about loans or anything like that, you can just go to message me at jonathan@ryandonner.com or jonathanandersonrealtor@gmail.com. I am Mr. Realty John Anderson on everything that's Instagram and Facebook. And then, yeah, you know, I'm here for, I mean, I love to see our community grow.
Can you give us some loan options now? Shit, I didn't even know you had all that going on. Let me get
Loan
some
options,
give us
yeah.
some loan
I mean, you got
options.
USD loans and then you got peso loans. So one particular loan program, the property value needs to be a minimum of 250,000 USD, and that's going to be rate 7 to 9%. Generally speaking, all of the programs that we have for USD, which are 6 programs, range from 7 to 13.24. Yeah, so 35% minimum down payment.
Yes.
And there you go right there.
Because I know some people are going directly through banks. Like,
Yes.
some of them are going directly through HSBC, and they're
Yes.
purchasing properties directly through them. So there are definitely some options out there for you to secure.
We use banks as
yeah.
as a loan officer. We use banks,
Yes.
and what we do is we know how to navigate the system of the bank. So we
Yes.
help you along the way. Sometimes when you're dealing with the bank, they are not as helpful as we are. You can call me,
Right.
and I can help you through the process. I can teach. I can tell you about the paperwork. I can explain the process to
Right.
you. Sometimes when you go directly to the bank, they're not there to
Yes.
coddle you and through the
Yes.
process.
Yes.
And also we have different programs
That's why I
aside
always
from
tell
the
y'all to
banks.
call too. I always tell y'all to call, like, before you apply or before you try to start doing research. It is okay to call these corporate places, and just the same with these websites and these resources that I'm giving y'all. When it comes to the auto loan, when it comes to the real estate blueprint, when it comes to BN sites, whatever, call, ask questions, and that way you'll already have it together when it's time for you to apply.
We also have personal peer-to-peer lending that the banks don't do. So you have your hard lenders.
Oh, wow.
You know, institutional lending that takes into account different things to go towards your DTI, which is your debt to income.
Correct.
You know, which is a major thing when you're trying to get a loan. That is
Correct.
how you get the loan. You know,
Correct.
if your DTI is in a particular range.
Yes.
If you know anything about DTI, here, try to calculate it, and it needs to be in a range of about 35 to 40. I'll just leave it there. If you want any more information, just message me, and we can get deeper into that. But yeah, you know, those are the things that happen with a broker aside from
Right.
dealing directly with the bank.
With the bank,
you know, you
definitely.
get those options as well. You know, we run the full gamut
Yes.
of lenders. You know,
Yes.
so
Definitely want to tap in with the homie Jonathan Anderson. He is out here making moves. We are out here making moves. Major shout out to all of the successful entrepreneurs and the ones that are on the way up, the ones that's on the way out. You know what I'm saying? The ones in the cut.
yes.
The underdogs, stay down, you know, keep executing, keep believing in yourself, keep networking, you know, keep putting great energy out in the world and do your part, honor your position.
You're expert in your brand.
Yes,
Whatever
be the
you
best
do,
at your shit.
know it
Be the
know it
best.
front and back.
Be
If
the
you-
best at your shit.
This was my thing. Even when I wasn't selling anything, my major thing was education.
Yes.
Learning about everything that I can about real estate. So when I do get that person that wants me to work
Yes.
with them, I am not fumbling around trying to learn.
Do research.
Do research.
Do your due diligence.
Yes.
Make sure you know what you're doing, what you're putting out there. Be a skilled professional at whatever it is that you're putting out. The stuff that you see on my show, we actively do. We actively make these moves. So it's not like we just, because you can do research, right? And then put it out there. And what I noticed with a lot of these quote unquote influencers is a lot of them are just putting out regurgitated, repetitive information. Okay, they're not actively doing this. They're not pouring into their community directly. They're not on these calls. They're not taking people through the process to make these moves happen. They're not signing leases. They're not going to open house. They're not closing. So just beware, do your due diligence, do your research, make sure, be aware that there are some different sides of this, but make sure that you do your research, make sure
Yes.
that you do your part, all right, and do research. There's nothing wrong with doing research, but you want to execute as well. You already know what time it is. Benji, the Ruler Street Sweepers of Mafia. I'm Mob ENT CEO. We are live and in full effect. This is The Real Right Show. Major shout out to Jonathan Anderson. Thank you for coming
Yes.
to the show.
Thank you for having
me.
me,
You want to
man.
give anybody a shout out?
Shout out to God for
Yes.
putting me here. I wouldn't
Shout
be
out to
here
God,
without him.
man. Yes.
So all of the glory goes to him.
Yes.
Shout out to my mom who's always held me down.
Yes. Shout out to my mom. Rest in peace.
Shout out to Ryan Donner, who put me in a position to be here and to live, you know, my dream of being a realtor here
Yes.
in Mexico, helping me through that process, what I was saying of getting the paperwork and the permissions
Yes.
to be able to do it here. And
Yes.
shout out to you, Benji, for always, you know, just staying true and being the
Yes.
person that you are, you know, keeping in contact.
Thank
You know,
you,
we
yes.
don't hang out every day, but me and Benji talk all the time. We run into each other at the same
We make
social
moves.
circles,
Yes.
same,
Yes.
you know,
Yes.
parties, and then Benji's like, he knows what it takes to really, you know, put those things together to help
Yes.
everyone grow.
Yes.
And for him to actually lend a helping hand to help facilitate my growth here. And also his, I mean, it's an amazing thing. You know, I can't
Yes.
do nothing but congratulate him for that.
Damn, I appreciate that, bro.
Yeah.
For real, man. That's what it's for, man. For real. Like, that's what it's for. And for y'all that's viewing this right now, y'all know it's always been the same energy with me, like putting my people on, sharing my platform, you know, helping them market their brands, helping them develop their brands and those ideas. Like, I literally can be having a conversation with somebody and some visions will pop in my head and I'll give them a whole business idea, and that might be their person's purpose.
Yeah.
They didn't even know who they were or what they were supposed to be doing, and they, oh my God, you know what? I was thinking that, or I had a dream, and it's like I help people execute and bring that shit to reality, man. That's what we all here for. Everybody got to do their part. I'm a visionary. Thank y'all for tuning in. Y'all already know what time it is. Onward and upward, it only gets bigger and better. This is The Real Right Show. We are live and in full effect, man. Let's go. Shout out
Let's
to
go.
TP Bar. Yeah.